the September update of what Susan Goodell and I are looking forward to in September. Hi, Susan.
Hi, how are you? We're back
Good.
from the ESAR conference in Denver. That was last weekend. We were having big fun with our astrologer friends from around the world a week ago today. So,
yeah, and actually you did a talk there on, do you want to talk a little bit of just what was the title?
I did a talk on the outlook for the Dow Jones Industrial Average through 2032, which I know sounds like a long time, but it's related to the Saturn-Uranus cycle. And so we went through that.
Right. And it's not available yet on the website to purchase. So you have to hold a little bit for hopping on there and getting that. Yeah, no, I've ended. So I set up my booth and had super attention and signed up, multiple affiliates. We introduced our affiliate program. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. I know it's already September when we're talking about already September. And of course, we've been through two kind of big transits already that we'll go back to September 1st and discuss. But where's everybody from? I guess I should get my little my little chat box going so I can read this stuff on my own. So hi, everybody. Hi. I'm in Evanston, Illinois. Susan's not too far away from me, a little south in Chicago. So type in where you're from. I want to hear where this is. Yeah. Hey, beautiful goddess. I see you. Well, let's just pop in because there isn't as many. Hey, Melissa. Hi. Oh, I know. Hey, how's Albuquerque going for you? Hey, Stephanie, nice to see you here. Thanks for joining. When we were doing the cheat sheet, right, a couple of weeks ago, it seemed like that there was less pages. There was at least like 2 less pages than there were some of the months, that there were 9 pages and then there were 7 pages for this. And that just kind of shows you there are less aspects going on in September. That doesn't mean that there's not things happening. There's some actually big things happening.
Yeah, there are, but there's like no aspects in the sky for like almost the first week of September.
Yeah, like, once we get past, like tomorrow,
yesterday.
Sunday. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah,
because we got to ingress tomorrow.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Let's begin. So anyone that has the cheat sheet, which you can quick go over to intentionbeads.com. Alex will put the link in right now. It's $10. It's really beautifully graphic. Alex did that. Susan gives her one statement sentence for a particular day, and I give one, and we don't discuss it. We just write it, and then we see how it comes together. Of course, I have it here in front of me. But it is a really nice, handy tool, if you're learning astrology, because we'll put the glyphs on there, and then we write out what it is so that you can get kind of jiggy with it and watch the whole month kind of transpire as these planets are moving forward or moving backward. And we do have, as we enter this month, we have now all outer planets retrograde for the entire month. We have the 2 superior planets, which are Jupiter and Saturn, retrograde. So that's 5 planets right there that are retrograde. And then one of the personal planets, Mercury, joins the retrograde group in about a week. And so we're going to be talking about that too. All right, let's go back. How about we go back to September 1st? Because I really think that's my favorite day of the month, and I don't want to miss it.
Mine's way at the end.
So we parenthesized the month. So September the first, which was Thursday that we just had, was my favorite day. And it's, it's this Mars making a sextile to Jupiter. And Mars is now in Gemini. Mars went into Gemini about a week or two ago, maybe 10 days ago, and stays in Gemini until the end of March. What? Right? This is where Mars retrogrades. So Mars retrogrades every 2 years, 2 months, so about 26 months. So it's the least, it's the planet that retrogrades least often. And so here he's already in Gemini. I think what I wanted to kind of mention, I know I'm talking a lot right now, probably because
Mars is in Gemini.
Mars is in Gemini, and Mercury was opposing Jupiter yesterday, which is why I had more clients yesterday than I'm actually ever permit. I don't know how they got in, but I wanted to say that Alex and I are putting together a freebie on Mars in Gemini, little discussion talk on Zoom coming up. If it's not this month, it'll be in October. So watch out for that, because Mars won't retrograde until October 30th, which happens to be, remember that the night before Halloween was like damage night or,
we never did that.
Oh man. Yeah, we did. Well, I wasn't part of it when I was younger. Anyway, so yesterday, or the first, was my favorite day of the month, which I called speeding up. There was a reception there with Jupiter in Aries, ruled by Mars. Mars is in Gemini, in this mutable sign in a sextile. So it just reminds me about a hot rod needing to, blow out the spark plugs. If I really am going back to the 80s when I, had a hot rod. And actually, this is the last aspect that Mars makes before hitting a shadow degree in a couple days. So speeding up, things are moving fast. What do you think?
I just think it's a lot of big energy to take advantage of, to get something rolling while you have the energy to do it. Because Jupiter expands Mars's ability to move forward. But in the sextile, you have to actually be proactive about it.
Yeah, and that proactive means, and it's probably why it's my favorite day, first of the month, is point your car, point your arrow, point your intention in the right direction, at least the direction you think you want to go, because Mars will retrograde and you may have to readjust your direction. But for right now, it's pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
But have purpose with it, at least for now. It may change. Okay. Then we talk about yesterday, Friday, September 2nd, when Mercury, the planet of communication, is in Libra opposing Jupiter. Now there's an opposition to Jupiter. And to me, this was covering all angles. This was defending in a speech, which actually the night before President Biden did, defending his position on his beliefs and what he stands for. So I say cover all angles with all possibilities of, thorough thought.
And I think with Mercury in Libra, which is, balance. Okay. Listen to the pros and the cons. Weigh both sides of the argument. But in an expansive, but it is expansive. It is about beliefs and truth. What Jupiter stands for. But you have to listen to both sides because Mercury's in Libra.
So what's currently in the news is, we'll come back again because Mercury, this is the first aspect of this opposing Jupiter. So everything that we just talked about, standing, defending your ground, the truth, what you believe in. This first hit was yesterday, September 2. The next one is September 18th, when they're both retrograde. So now there's some unraveling of what is the truth. And then by October 11th, Mercury comes back up into this exact space placement and in a direct motion. And so that what we say, Susan Wright, always is the first pass is, second pass is, adjustments, unraveling of something.
Right.
And then the final pass is possible resolved of this conflict.
Right.
So watch from now until October 11th, watch the news.
Yeah. But I mean, this applies to, and it's why we talk about it. You may see it in your own life as well, that you had some sort of what is the truth sort of conversation in the last few days that you really have to think about and may not get resolved until mid-October. And that could be in your family, it could be at work, because this energy affects all of us.
And can I say, because I know who's on right now, and also in your love life.
Yeah.
In all aspects, in all situations,
Mm-hmm.
in all relationships, because it's Libra.
Yeah.
All contacts. All right. Sunday. Now we're going to move forward. Sunday, tomorrow, the 4th, Venus moves into Virgo. Now, she's not really happy to go into Virgo. She doesn't spend long here. So she's kind of like visiting, changing things, correcting. She's got the critical eye here. She can do good here, but she wants to correct what is not pleasing to the eye or what doesn't make sense or doesn't feel right. What I do like is, even though she's adverse to her ruler, Mercury, she's able to understand easily what the roles are. So it's like she has this intuition here that she knows the details, because Mercury, we just said, is in Libra, Venus is. So there's a mutual reception here with these two players.
Mm-hmm. And remember that Venus doesn't move into Virgo until 11 o'clock at night, Central Time, on
tomorrow,
Sunday. Right? So
tomorrow.
Have your Labor Day party on Sunday when Venus is still in Leo and it's all sparkly and fun. And then Venus moves into Virgo, its worst sign. It likes it the least. It feels homeless in Virgo. And so, and on the cheat sheet, I described it as, okay, well, Cinderella went to the party on Saturday, but now has to go home and clean up the mess on Monday once it moves into Virgo.
Right. Friday. Okay, I don't want to spend too long here, even though I want to. But
wait. I do want to interject about Monday, Labor Day itself. We talked about it in a webinar, Sandy, about Mars being conjunct the United States natal Uranus for the first of 3 passes. And that is traditionally looked at. Mars conjunct Uranus in any kind of situation brings the potential for accidents, sudden events, unexpected, that have typically a negative feeling about them. So just be really careful on Labor Day. Mars conjunct the United States Uranus could bring icky things.
On a bigger level.
On a bigger level, yeah.
To me, it's not so much the individual. It's like
right.
our entire country may be, may need to defend itself, or something erratic could happen. I don't really want to go back too far, but remember when we had that Mars Uranus North Node connection last month?
Mm-hmm.
And there were some assassinations happening, and that was in the world. This one that you're talking about is only for the United States.
Right.
So, if I stay home and have a cookout, I think I'll be safe.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not going to a gig or
no, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So.
But not because of that, just because that's my plan. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Hop into Friday, the 9th. This is the day that Mercury stationed retrograde at 8 degrees of Libra. So I call this a redo or a hairdo. It's a Libra. So is there anything aesthetically unpleasing that needs to be adjusted or redone or redoed? This does bring up that Libra, the diplomacy of what, in the diplomatic sign of what feels compelled to judge everything and everything fairly. That's important. So we have to create a balance here. So, legal affairs, again, that's going to be in the news for this, 6-week period. I love Erin Sullivan and I missed her. She ended up not showing up for the ESAR because I was going to go to her class and somebody said she didn't show up. She talks about when Mercury goes through retrograde through an air sign is what is the meaning of my relationships in my life? So that might be a theme all 20 this it comes up right now in September, and then it'll be happening all next year in 2023 because it'll be going through the air trigon. Yeah.
And, Mercury retrograde, it's a time to reevaluate messages, communications, that sort of thing. And particularly in Libra, once again, this theme of Libra, a balance of weighing the pros and cons of whatever you've been talking about, discussing with whoever, has the chance to be reevaluated and maybe not get to the conclusion until after the retrograde is over.
Mm-hmm. And I said that wrong before. It's finishing up the air. It's heading back to Earth.
Next year.
Yeah, it dips back into Virgo a little bit of this retrograde. And then in 2023 starts the Earth trigon. And so as we're finishing up, what is the meaning of my relationships in my life? Certainly this last year after COVID of, that might have been a big question. It was for me. And we go into the question that Erin says is, what are the tangible results of my life? That's the new question. And we're in that asking both of those questions this Mercury retrograde period. And then it'll be, what are my tangible results in 2023 during all of the Mercury retrograde periods in Earth? All right.
And so remember, you've got this week or next week until Mercury goes retrograde to back up your computers, get your cars checked, upgrade your phone if you need to, do all those kinds of things.
Yes, Miss Capricorn. Miss Pisces over here is like, oh, can somebody else do it for me? And oh, whoops, I forgot. Okay, Saturday the 10th. We're going to show the chart here in a second. This is the full moon at 17 degrees of Pisces. This is at 4:59 a.m. I have my calendar already noted. I am getting my butt up, getting the telescope out. I want to see this because it will be going down. It'll be on the western horizon before the sun even comes up. So I call this sudden compromise. What did you call this, Susan?
Shining light on compassion for all.
Let's go to the chart here. It's interesting. We're going to follow this through. Alex, so here we are, full moon. There's the moon over in the 7th house. Alex will mark this for us. At 17 of Pisces. And we see that the sun is the moon, is about to go down over the horizon. And the sun is not yet up over the horizon. We see the sun in the 1st house. And so that is that exact opposition. Now, Susan, talk a little bit about the Uranus at the top of the chart, because this is making a aspect to this full moon.
Right. And so Uranus is trine the sun, sextile the moon. And note that it's next to the North Node, which means that it's opposite the South Node. So one, whenever you see an opposition with a trine sextile to a third planet, that is called a triangle of potential. And the planet at the top of the triangle is the one that has the ability to express the energy of all three, but in particular the opposition. And so full moon, for me, focusing, because the moon's in Pisces, so the light is about Piscean things, compassion, humanitarian, that sort of thing. Connected to Uranus in the North Node, says that there maybe could be some big breakthroughs in terms of healing for the masses, compassion for the masses. That's needs to happen because it's next to the North Node. But you'll also see that it goes the other way too, because the nodes are involved. That the South Node is trine the moon and sextile the sun. And so it makes a rectangle. And that formation with the opposition, the two sextiles, the two trines, is called a mystic rectangle. And so the energy of both the points, the Uranus North Node and the South Node, really are what comes out of this connection that has the full moon as its root energy. So it could be really a real healing time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I put here sudden compromise because I also brought Mars in.
Mm-hmm.
If we go to the very top of the chart, in the 10th house, we're looking at Mars is making it's a weak square, but you know, the sun and the moon have already crossed that 11 degrees. But I did bring it in because it's square, and that kind of is like, how does this kind of conflict, this wordy, very wordy, blunt conversation? Maybe you need to tell the truth about something and to get right to the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are feeling like something is not working, you have to say it and not stay in this woo-woo time frame. But the fact I called it a sudden compromise did bring in that, that opposition and that Uranus, but also too, because I look at the rulers of things, and we're going to just stay here a little bit longer. Alex, the ruler of the moon, it's in Pisces, is ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter is up there in the 8th house at 5 degrees. He's retrograde. Okay. And let's go to the sun. The sun is in Virgo, and its ruler is Mercury. So, and Mercury's in the 2nd house. So if we look at the Jupiter to the Mercury, there's an opposition there. So here's another opposition to the rulers of the sun and the moon. So this is kind of like things are tense, but they work out. Like you can see it, you can understand, you can see. And when you say that compassion word, compassion word is just that, is to understand a feeling, right? Like you feel for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And this placement is, I say to ask your dream weavers for answers before you go to bed on, Friday the 9th. Ask for an answer. Because this reminds me of just like this magic wand and everything that you just said with the potential and the magic. It's like this magic wand spreading fairy dust of, really compromising. And it's, to me, it's almost like oh, I see where you're coming from now.
Right.
Right. So even the Mars there in a square can be a little disagreement. I think it starts to rub and then it's understood. So that's that. Okay. Whew. Okay.
Well, no wonder you want to get up and see it.
Huh?
No wonder you want to get up and see it.
I want to get up and see this. I want to be in this. I'm a Pisces anyway, and this
Right.
moon is just, 3, 4 degrees away from my Mercury. And so I really do want to be in that spirit of fairy dust. And I know there's somebody else here watching that wants to get up and watch it too.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Fairy. So let's move on. Sunday the 11th, we have the sun making a trine to Uranus. Now remember, we just saw that in the chart what we just showed you. And this is that be daring, advance your purpose. You have a need to be seen.
Excuse me. I like the sun trine Uranus. I
Mhm.
think it gives you big energy to be bold, try something new, have some fun, go for it. That kind of energy.
Yeah, it's like being yourself. It's like being your authentic self. This happens twice a year,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is one of the times. So, and it's a Sunday. So be weird, be odd, be brilliant, do something different than you planned to do. So
Mm-hmm.
leave this day open in your calendar if you can, because you may be offered or invited somewhere that you're like, didn't expect that. Okay, I'm on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Friday the 16th. See, we're already halfway through the month. And Alex, you're probably loving our timing here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if you love our timing at the end. Friday the 16th.
Yeah, and here's where it starts to pick up. It's been pretty quiet until now.
Venus is making a square to Mars. This is what I call the great debate. It's like lots to say because Mercury is ruling both of these guys. Venus is in Libra, ruled by Mercury, squaring Mars in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. And remember, Mercury is retrograde. So lots to say, but is it all important? It make it loud and lots of hand waving, right? Because of the Gemini hand waving. But try, um, try to get to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Use words, be fair, because Mercury is retrograde in Libra. So have a great debate. Don't use malicious words.
Good advice. And I think because it's a square between Venus women, Mars men, that those debates may be with the opposite sex. And because Venus is in its fall, men probably have the advantage. So hold your ground, women, and have a good debate, but don't give in. Try really hard not to give in.
Yeah.
Stay tough with the square. You are coming to you're at this. One thinks this way, one thinks this way, and you're like, okay, now which way do we go?
Yeah, and debates are, isn't there like a club of debaters in
Yeah.
high school? It's really to use your brain, to use your thinking, your sensible, rational thinking, right? Because Mercury here is not in a sign of emotion. It's like this is the
Right.
truth. Sorry, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I see it. This is how I think about it.
Yeah.
So, raw words. Be careful so that they don't take it. It's going to be hard not to take it personally, women.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's go on because it's in reality, Venus is under the beams of the sun here. She's moving really
Also,
close,
even hidden,
even hidden.
even more.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Same day, the moon, or excuse me, the sun in Virgo is opposing Neptune. And did you see what I wrote?
Yeah.
I was like, lollygag. I'm like, I even had to go to Wikipedia or wherever, Google, and say, what the hell does lollygag even mean? We use that word my mom uses that word. I grew up on that word.
Yeah.
Not to lollygag. You're
Right.
lollygagging. Well, I'm a Pisces mom. We didn't know that at the time, that it means I'm to do what I feel like doing at the time. But I
Mhm.
went and looked at and got out those other words of gardy-loo, dilly-dally. We know dilly-dally. Bum fuzz, fuzzle.
Bumfuzzle.
Yeah, it's confused, perplexed, and flustered. So all of these words are spending time aimlessly, being idle, to fool around and waste time, dawdle. It's a mid 19th century word, is lollygag, to fool around. Yep. The more illicit a relationship, an inappropriate waste of time. So so little did my mom know, she was telling me to go have illicit relationships when she said, stop lollygagging around. I wasn't really doing the real word, Mom. I was 10. I thought that funny. Anyway.
Well, I think the sun opposite Neptune just says, oh, I'm going to take it easy this weekend. I'm out. And it's on a Friday. So good. I'll start early.
Right. And right, and it's the same day as that we just discussed, that, the Venus square Mars. It's like, that could create friction, when we think about illicit relationships or inappropriate, sexual tensions. That's Venus Mars.
Yeah.
Right.
So don't drink too much on Friday night with sun opposite Neptune.
So there we go. That's Friday. Then Saturday seems to be no aspects. Maybe we're still in this
You're recovering.
Little lollygagging thing. Sunday, the 18th, we have the Mercury retrograde is opposing Jupiter for the second time. And I think second time of 3. And to me, this is retracting an opinion. Is that what you're doing? You're needing to look at something differently, maybe because of that debate that you had a couple days early, because maybe then when you went into the lollygag and you thought about it, you meditated about it, you were by yourself, wasting time, you wake up on Sunday and go, I need to fix something here. So this is a temporary fix. The retrograde second pass is always a temporary fix from something that came in September 2nd when they first met. Are you still searching for the route? Or you do have more time. You have more time to permanently fix this until, remember, October 11th that we gave you earlier.
Yeah. And I think it's just a good day to note that it is the second of 3 passes. And so you've got some time that has elapsed. So go back in your calendar and say, okay, what were the discussions around the 2nd of September when it was the first pass? What is happening as we speak now on the 3rd? What happened yesterday, today, this weekend that I have to review? What kind of conversations need a second look? Go back to them on the 18th and see what needs to be cleared up.
Mm-hmm. I see a chat here about, a Taurus and a Gemini, which, in the theme of Monday, they don't see each other, right? They're next to each other. So what's considered a verse. So, you may not understand each other normally, but this is a great time on Friday, the 16th to set up and maybe this is not an outdoor date. This is not a restaurant date. This may be a picnic date where you can raise your voice and not disturb others. Or not be disturbed by other people having a debate. Well,
right.
should we share this bottle of wine or this bottle? I want white. No, you want red. Oh my gosh. Let's just get a sangria. Like there has to be.
Well, let's just drink them both.
We have time tomorrow for our hangover. I am mama. Okay. The same day, Sunday the 18th, what is I am mama? I don't know. Why do I say that? Anyway, Sun making a trine to Pluto. This happens twice a year. This is one of them, the authoritative leader. It's like others look to see what your command, or are you looking to others for a command? but this says follow your own lead. Follow your own lead. What do you got?
Yeah. And mine was similar, a powerful time to execute your own sensibilities. So happening on the same day as that Mercury opposite Jupiter, second of three, you probably could think that, okay, well, whatever the conversation was over Labor Day weekend, I'm right. Thank you very much.
We're doing it my way.
We're doing it my way. No,
so
my argument was best.
So I'm going to go out this door, and if you agree, you'll follow.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a couple hours to think about it, right? Because it's Pluto, it's deep, intense thinking. It may take a while to get that. All right, yeah, she's right.
Mm-hmm. And Venus square Mars the couple days before, once again, it's like, okay, no, hang in there. The woman is right.
We're all women here. Or the man could be right. Did you see our faces? All right, let's go.
Only because you have to say that because Mercury is retrograde in Libra.
I do have to say that. Monday the 19th. This Venus is making a trine now to Uranus. So this is a surprise date. This is also the heliacal set of Venus. So say yes here, because, just because Venus is in Virgo and is in her fall, and we'll see so many reasons to say no. Oh, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like getting dressed up. Blah, blah, blah. I don't. However, she rules the Uranus in Taurus. So take a chance. It's free, inventive, and progressive ideas for you and loved ones. So take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. It's the dancing queen.
That song. I love that song. And Venus is money. And so Venus trine Uranus is surprise money, which can be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. Either way, I always like to think of it as, oh, good. Look, a check came that I wasn't expecting. Oh, good. My market position did really well. Yay. But don't go blow it all at once. Venus and Virgo wants you to be practical with that surprise money. And so save it. Don't spend it. Do something good with it. Hang on to it if you get
it. Thursday, the 22nd, the sun, this is the fall equinox, which is at 8:04 p.m. Central Time. So this is when the sun moves into Libra. Happy birthday, Libras. It's so funny, this is a definite shift. It's a shift for the next 3 months because you look at the charts for the next 3 months on exactly at this date. But interesting, the king, the sun, goes into his fall in Libra. And I was like, is that why they call it fall?
Could be. I like that. It's a good way to remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex is reminding us here that we skipped our readings. We're doing our readings on Susan and I, the collective, 2 astrologers on U1, which is actually so fun for us to do because we don't talk about your chart in advance. And sometimes we just like put you in the room, like you're in the room with us. And Susan and I are talking about you.
Yeah.
As we discuss.
Oh, look, Sandy, look at this.
And that's Wednesday, the 21st, from 6 to 8 p.m. There's slots opened.
Central Time, 6 to 8
Central Time. And Alex will probably put the, I guess she's putting the thing up if anybody's interested in our attack, which is fun.
Right before the sun moves into Libra.
We'll take questions at the end if we can.
Yeah.
We want to get through.
Yeah, and on the 22nd, any of the solstice or equinoxes are dates that I pay attention to for potential change of trend in the overall stock market. That's based on what financial astrologer W.D. Gann did 100 years ago. And so it's just one day to pay attention and see what's up.
Okay. Friday the 23rd, we have the Mercury retrograde, Pizimi the sun at 0 degrees of Libra. Now, I don't know if other astrologers are looking at this like I am. This is what I called my astro interesting day of the month, because this sits at the world point. This sits at the world point. So the question, are we making strides to settle disputes? This is a question mark. This is a watch the news.
For sure. For sure. And the world points are 0 degrees of any of the cardinal signs, because they affect, and so things that happen on any of the world points affect the entire world, which is why the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at 0 Aquarius that happened on the winter solstice in 2020 is such a big deal. I digress.
Well, we stay there for 200 years or something, so right. I don't know what digression that is.
Yeah. But at any rate, this Mercury Cazimi starts at 10:22 p.m. Thursday and ends at 5:15 a.m. Friday. So those of us in the United States, this is pretty much when we're sleeping. And so I think you can ask for world peace before you fall asleep that night. And expect that will have some influence in how the world behaves. And you may get insight into how to help make that happen more in your dreams that night with Mercury Cazimi, the sun.
And it has to do with women as well, because it's in a sign ruled by Venus in Libra. So
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. I'm going to really watch this day. That's why I call it. It's not a conflict day. It's actually a clarity day. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I called it my astro interesting day. All right, Saturday the 24th. So here's Venus is doing this opposition with Neptune. Now I call this a secret society meeting or a hidden love affair, right? Venus is combust here. So there is this hidden quality that she doesn't want to be seen. So if you're trying to get up on your high horse and say something, you may not, and especially women, may not be heard, right? And so I think that's why that world point on the Friday the 23rd, the day before, has a really impactful, something's going on behind the scenes that we may not even know until later. Yeah, because of Venus being combust the sun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And combust the sun means that it's so close that its light literally is overpowered by the light of the sun. You can't see it. You can't see Venus in the sky when it's combust. The sun's light overpowers it.
And I just want to say, because I'm a sky watcher and I'm on my roof every morning and every night, that, you can see Venus. You can see Venus in the early morning if she's a morning rise, and you can see her in the evening if she's in evening set. But when she's going back and forth over the sun, which she does every 9 months, which is another thing I'm running on October 22nd. It's not up on my website yet. When she goes in and creates a Venus star point. But when she's in this vicinity of the sun, you can't see anybody behind a flashlight. You can't see in the dark of a room who's standing, shining a flashlight in your face. You don't know who's holding that. So that's that kind of appearance where you can't see because the sun is so lit. Light. Mm-hmm. All right, let's keep going.
Well, Venus opposite Neptune for me is about the dissolving of money. And so be careful about spending on the 24th, even on practical things that Venus would like you to spend money on while it's in Virgo. Just calm down and put your cards away on the 24th.
Cut them up, maybe.
No,
Uh,
don't go that far.
I did that one time.
Did you?
Yeah, about 12 years ago.
Mhm.
Sunday, the 25th, we have a new moon at 2 degrees of Libra. And this is at 4:55 p.m. Central Time. And I call this nothing or everything. I call this my conflict day as well. I was going to show this chart, but I chose the full moon. So we've got the moon and the sun at 2 degrees of Libra. And this is opposing the 3-degree Jupiter in the opposite sign of Aries. And so because this Mercury and Venus are both combust, it's got the reverse, but and in reception, to me, this is like that's a nothing part, like nothing comes of it.
Mhm.
But then the Jupiter says it's everything, it's all. So here to me, it's like we have to balance this nothing and everything for the next 2 weeks, as you would any new moon signature for until we get to the full moon in 2 weeks. So it does seem like you need to be fair on some themes. And, again, we say stand your ground, but you have to be open to listen to others. You can still stand your ground by doing that.
And I think with the new moon in Libra opposite Jupiter, okay, the new moon in Libra says you have to have intention about being fair and balanced. But opposite Jupiter says you can do that too much. You can be too Libra-ish in weighing the pros and cons. Or you can be too much not able to make the decision because you're in Libra and going, oh, I don't know, this or is it this or is it this? I don't know. And Jupiter opposite that can work it either way. It can make you more sensitive to playing fair, or it could make you not able to make the decision at all because you're just too indecisive about it. So,
Yeah, it's like all or nothing.
yeah.
All right, we got some questions that we're going to hold to the end. Let's get going. We got this last week, Monday, the 26th, we have Venus making a trine to Pluto. Alliances deepen. I do like this. It's a trine. Remember, trines are probably the easiest, most harmonious connection between two planets. And even though Venus is still in Virgo, she doesn't really like it, but she's at 26 degrees. So she's only got 4 more degrees, which is just a couple days for her to get out of here. And she meets up with Pluto. And so these can be, other people become more cooperative. Remember to smile, say hi, and make someone's day. This could be those romantic or intimate relationships deepen.
And this is my favorite day of the month, the 26th, mainly because Venus is trine Pluto. And that is always good for big money. Big money comes to you easily, even in Virgo. But what I also like about this day is that every planet is an aspect. So all the planets, all 10, are making aspects to one another. They're all in play. So it's kind of a juicy little day for lots of planetary influence going on. But the big one for me, and why it's my favorite day, is because of the big money aspect potential from Venus trine Pluto.
So that might answer one of the questions that Leslie has from Scotland. Are there any good dates this month for actively attracting money? Right. So
yeah, that would be one of them.
Yeah. Maybe we'll touch on that if we have more time. Mm-hmm. Mercury retrograde, same day, the 26th. Mercury retrograde conjuncts Venus. Again, salty yet sweet. This to me is more of an apology. There's an appreciation here that's about, do I apologize or do I ask for an apology from someone? Um, it's like that, mea culpa kind of thing is easy to do now. So you could write a letter or send a card, some way that's more heartfelt. And I also wrote here, return a treat. Thank someone for something that they've done for you in the past by giving, a delectable treat. Like give their Tupperware container back with, homemade cookies or something.
Ooh, what a
Yeah.
nice idea.
Do I have anything of yours that I need to get back to you?
No,
What are your favorite cookies?
darn. Snickerdoodle.
All right, I'll keep that in mind for when I have something that I need to return. Go ahead. What do you think for this?
Well, and I'm kind of on the same track with you on this because Mercury's retrograde. My note was about reminding yourself um, and others of how much you appreciate their practicality because both planets are in Virgo, Mercury and Venus. And so be nice, communicate nicely, and be appreciative.
Mhm. And that's always the word. I learned that really early, 20 years ago. When you get a Mercury and a Venus, it's about appreciate what you love, right?
Mhm.
Just be in gratitude for it.
Yeah.
All right, same day, as you said, there's a lot of aspects going on. However, we're just going over the three that are quartile
Or
exact,
exact. Right.
that are exact. We've got the sun opposing the Jupiter now. And this is transition. Oh, this is anytime you get an outer planet or a superior planet making an opposition to the sun. That's the transition going either it's going to the evening star. So yay, because I love to see Jupiter in the night sky. If you've been noticing that big, bright Jupiter, that's Jupiter in the sky. So once the sun goes down, then we see, a couple hours later, we see Jupiter coming up over the east. But what we're going to be seeing is Jupiter so the sun and Jupiter are going to be, sun goes down and Jupiter will be coming up. So I love to see this. And it's the only time and best time when the sun sets. Have an optimistic faith. Believe in your goals, your past, your present, and your future goals.
Mm-hmm. And I add the same message to be optimistic. But with Jupiter in Aries, you could go overboard with that. Jupiter wants to expand. In Aries, it like you said at the very beginning, Sandy, pedal to the metal. This is Jupiter in Aries. Let's do it big and let's do it now and let's go. In opposition to the sun, you have to take that in balance, particularly with the sun in Libra. So be optimistic, but don't necessarily pedal to the metal.
And you could be just kind of, as I said, the past, the present, the future. You can be optimistic about what you've already accomplished and done. Be optimistic about what's going on in your life right now and tomorrow and next week and next year. You can have that, like you said, it's not just for right now.
Right.
Right. Like hurry up, get it. No, it's like
no.
Let's pull that out. Let's taffy that out. Never used that before. I like that.
That's a good word. I like that. Taffy it out.
Taffy it out. Tuesday, the 27th, we've got this Mercury still retrograde in his own sign, Virgo, making a trine to Pluto. This is the second of three. And I say this is finding answers. I think by October 7th on this one, we get the answer, but collect all of them on your discovery wall. And, have you ever done a discovery wall where you put Post-it notes on things that you're imagining or thinking about or that come to your mind? And then you look at it, keep everything up there, kind of like the spaghetti on the wall, because you're not done yet. You have another week or so. So watch the news, see how you feel about things that are being portrayed to us, in different news outlets.
And Mercury and Pluto together are, you can always potentially count on, maybe that's a little strong, but anyway, be aware of the potential for big secrets. And with Mercury retrograde and Pluto retrograde both, this could be secrets from way back when. But in particular with this pass from late August. And you could get way more news about what was going on then, in this around the 27th of September, when they're trying, and they easily spill out. This is not difficult for secretive Pluto to spill the beans when it's trine Mercury.
Mm-hmm. So if you need to get answers somehow from someone, set up a meeting here.
Yeah, you could poke that and get the answer.
You can get the truth. Get the truth.
Yeah.
Wednesday the 28th. Alex is already prodding us. Wednesday the 28th. We've got Mars making a trine to Saturn. Now they're both, Saturn's retrograde. They're both in air signs. I say move on your own. Use your 2 feet and your 2 hands if you need to. Support. You get support from Saturn. Don't be afraid. This is the first of 3 aspects. We get one November 28th, and then one not till the end of March 30th of 2023. So, however you're crawling, I'm thinking the one time I needed to crawl up the stairs, with two hands because I really needed the support. So it's kind of like breaking norms. It's breaking systems, but you have the support. Somebody's supporting you. Saturn's supporting you.
Mm-hmm. And this is big energy. Mars trine Saturn helps you really go for it. And I'm thinking, maybe this is when I can start writing that book and be done by this in the spring when it's over.
Oh yeah, Mars in Gemini.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, whether you're writing a book or not, Mars trine Saturn is big energy, and so go for it.
And we end the month on Thursday the 29th. This is the last aspect of the month. I know the month is not over yet, but we've got Venus moves out of her fall, right? Or her fall, where she's fallen down the well, and she has moved into Libra. This is she's still under the beams. She's going to be under the beams until December. So she does get to click her ruby slippers. She is finally home again, clickety click. Take the time of pleasing to calm others by being yourself. So she stays here for 3+ weeks. Because this is also Mercury's heliacal rise. So Mercury is coming out of the combustion and goes eventually back into Libra. So I think this is where she gets the help. Mercury's got a message that Venus has provided him. But man, we don't know it yet though, but she's happy here. She's joyful and connected with others.
Mm-hmm. And so, and for me it'll feel a really big shift, because here's Venus moving from its fall, its worst sign, to Libra, its ruling sign. So a big shift in female energy and pleasantness, from Virgo, Cinderella, work clothes, back to, oh, good, I'm myself again. If you saw is it the most recent Cinderella? Cinderella was designing clothes.
Love it. My favorite one.
Yeah.
My favorite. I told somebody I'm going to watch that again.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. It's that move. You go from having to wear the dirty work clothes into being the gown designer, and everybody loves them. Yay.
Yeah, it's like she's climbing out of the hole, like you said. She's climbing out of her basement where she's smudged and dirty and raggy, and gets to come to the ball and she has her 3 mice taking her to the ball and her fairy godmother giving her gown. So yeah, Elsa says it's time to get right to writing your book. Yep. And we did have a longer question here about relationships, and that's a big question. We don't have time for that, but yes, to get on a private reading, we can take a look at your questions for sure.
And that's on the Wednesday, the 21st.
Yeah,
that we do.
We moved it a week back, so it's the 21st this month. Alex, we did it. We came in. We put pedal to the metal at the first, and we got here just in time. So our next get together, don't forget to get the cheat sheet. You need it. I think everybody needs the cheat sheet. I do, and I wrote it.
It helps me.
Is October 1st. We're going to get to October 1st for October. So we'll be coming in hot then too. And don't forget to sign up for my intention beads, newsletters, because I am going to be announcing, probably announce it, but not hold it until October, that Mars in Gemini retrograde, what it means. And then I'm doing that Venus star point, first one in Libra for 220 years. We're all here experiencing that. That is a talisman workshop. That is October 22nd in the afternoon. Put it on your calendar. That is paid because I make a pair of earrings. And it's rose. It's a blue rose this time.
Very pretty.
Anything else you got?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Well,
Mercury retrograde, I'm going to spend decluttering.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be contacting all of those people that I met at ESAR. I'm going to be recontacting them. So that's my RE. What is your RE for the month by the time we get together again?
Yeah. Oh, you're asking the crowd.
The crowd. Yeah. So plan on it. It's, retrogrades aren't scary. They're just times to redo. Also, Alex just did her astrology meditations podcast, and I got to sample the Mercury retrograde that she just put on. It's free. This is about a 12-minute meditation that's excellent for Mercury retrograde. So go to your podcast and go find astrology meditations. That's my daughter doing her own thing. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a great September.